Reneabenton.
All right, and the hardest thing I have to do is look at me. You won't have to look at the camera.
Right?
Okay, so this movie, the color purple, I mean, you get to come back and see it premiere on the big screen. I mean, here in the Valley where you've taught. Just kind of talk about, what all went into that movie. Talk about your role a little bit.
There were auditions in Atlanta for The Color Purple in actually the end of 2021, so around this time in 2021. And there's so many different scenes because it is a musical. And so generally when you audition for something, you do have callbacks. But for something like this, you had a callback for each individual scene.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was called back several times for different scenes, and a lot of the casting had to do with height, as well as, just how many dancers they actually were going to be able to afford to put on the screen at the same time. So the scene that I actually am in, that you'll see if you go see the movie in theaters, is African Homeland. And so I'm the female dancer that's in the front, prominently in the front, soloing, as you see. I'm not going to give anything else away, but you'll see immediately which scene it is.
Okay, and this movie follows the Alice Walker novel.
Yes.
So kind of talk about, I guess, give somebody who might not understand, I guess what that means or the context behind it.
So in preparation for seeing it on the big screen myself, I reread Alice Walker's The Color Purple. And basically, Celie, who's the main character, she has so many different obstacles, and it starts off with her being 14 years old. And if you can imagine the imagination of a 14-year-old who's trying to overcome things that she can't control. Every part of her life, she has no particular choices that are her own. And at some point, whether it's because of the people that she's encountered, the type of situations that she's been able to be witness to, as well as the people who are helping her build her confidence and show her other parts of herself that she did not know and possibly was afraid to get to learn because of her circumstances. And she decides to live.
That's awesome. And, with that being said, looking at the film, it's a musical as well. So, of course, that's where you come in. I guess, without giving too much away, what is the purpose of the dance that you're doing? How does it kind of parlay into what we see on the screen?
So I think if you're thinking that you're going to see the original film as a remake, that is not what this is. And so kind of building from the text, the original book, the movie, as well as the Broadway production, which is full of music and dancing, that's what you're going to see a lot more of. And Blitz, the director, he did an amazing job of interpreting the scene that I'm in specifically in a way that I think that brings connection to the continent of Africa in a way that we can appreciate here even in the States inside the movie.
Okay, and you talked about some details and that made it hard from a choreographer standpoint. What made it tough, filming these scenes?
So the scene that I'm in, we were actually dancing on the beach, dancing on sand. And so when you think about the tide that's coming in and the lighting changes as the day goes on, as the hours wear on, you get tan lines in places after so many takes. So there were physical challenges that were not even related to the actual dancing, and then of course there's the dancing as well, which was really amazing because every time that we reset, it was almost as if we were doing it for the first time because the environment was so real because we were on the beach.
For sure. And this was in I can't remember the name of the...
Yeah, we shot the scene in Jekyll Island in Georgia.
Okay. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And, you're back here, you get to spend time with family, and you get to see all the work that you've done. I mean, have you seen it since?
Yes, I have seen it. I got to see it about a week ago. And it does not, I don't think it's ironic that today is the first day of Kwanzaa, and it's Umoja, and I'm very excited to be able to bring my community that that I was born into, and that I really was able to cultivate a lot of my talent inside of, get to be able to share this moment of unity with the community here.
For sure. You get to spend time with Mom. You get to see it at Regal Cinema South, too.
Yes.
I guess what aspect does Youngstown have in all this, and how cool is it to be back here and be able to see it in such a place that I'm sure is close to home to you?
Well, I had my beginning here in Youngstown. I danced on probably almost every stage that's in the Mahoning Valley. I was able to see how hard work and discipline can really catapult you into places that you dream of. And so I think that one of the things that I hope that other people who are listening or watching are able to see is that, you know, if you stick to your goals and you stay focused, you can dance on the stages beyond this city.
Okay, and tonight's a big night for you. Kind of give me an itinerary of what's going down.
All right, so at 6 o'clock today, there will be a purple carpet meet and greet at Regal Cinema South. So I'll be there. I'll be signing autographs, taking photos. It will be really, really great to see everyone. And then at 7 o'clock, the movie starts. We will all be in our purple watching the film. And then 9:30 at Double Bogies in Seven Park Mall, there will be an after party. And I'll be there as well.
Perfect. You crushed this. You've done this 1,000 times.
Got good training over there.
Yeah. I know.
And by the way, Corey, you mentioned dancer. All these images, most of these are of Lindsay. There's a few that are of other people, but
Wow.
her dad is an artist, and so he captured these while she was on stage. He drew them while she was on stage.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Going through the motions.
Yeah, literally.
Shoot. Now someone shows up wearing pink tonight, are they getting kicked out?
No, they can, if it's purple, I will allow it.
Okay. Shoot, that means I know we're gonna have somebody at the premiere tonight.
Okay.
So, I'll make sure that she wears purple.
If not, it's not a major offense, but it is encouraged.
Oh, yeah. See, if I would have recorded that, that would have said all she needed to hear. Now, we won't hold it against you.
I mean, women
entire life.
generally like to be, you know, in the right dress code, so.
Yeah, sure.
You know, it was really surprising for me because I'm thinking, you know, it'll be a hassle if people have to think about going to get something different. And I was amazed at how many women, as soon as they heard,
Purple.
you know, something purple, and I would throw it. I said, well, you just put a purple sash on or something purple. Oh no,
Yeah.
I need a new outfit. And I realized they look for an excuse to have something
Yes.
new.
A new pair of shoes,
Yeah.
a new pair of earrings.
And it's like, don't say that in front of my husband. No, I need
Right.
I need a new purple outfit.
It's Christmas time, and
Right.
we're getting all the stuff you forgot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just get some side shots of you. You can go on as you were talking to her, even talking to me. Do you have any pictures or videos? I mean, it doesn't have to be on set. Maybe of just you kind of in action.
Yeah, I have, I'm sure there's something from, I've been reposting a lot of things,
Okay.
so I can definitely send something. And I think there's actually I have some behind the scenes footage of one of our first rehearsal days.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody just sent it to me today, so I can share that.
So you were in Coming to America too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was on set. It was pretty incredible. I was in the funeral scene. So, you know, James Earl Jones, King Joffrey, he wanted to see his funeral before he died. So, I was one of the African dancers, and unfortunately, because of COVID, and I guess amongst other elements that were included, the editing that happened did not include a longer version of the dance scene like the original. But we did have a 2-minute dance that was filmed. But James Earl Jones, Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, In Vogue, the list of people that were on the call sheet on the days that I was on set was pretty incredible. While I was getting my makeup done, Arsenio Hall was getting his makeup and hair done. It was John Amos. He was really, really gracious. I think he was very happy to see that so many younger people knew who he was and recognized him and were excited to, take photos with him. But yeah, it was a pretty amazing experience. We were in makeup for a very long time because we all had body paint on. And so you had to have the exact same body paint because it's the same scene being shot,
Yeah.
the entire week. So
They should have had you an avatar.
yeah, the whole body paint. Yes.
Oh shoot. No, I can imagine. So being that you're coaching people on stage too, do they ever rely on your experience, I guess, for maybe any of the actors that are up there that are going through scenes?
So most recently, one of the productions that I did was actually A Christmas Carol at a regional theater in Alabama Shakespeare Theater in Montgomery, and I was the movement director, and a lot of the transitions required movement in a way that some of the actors were not used to using, and so it was nice being able to kind of color the language of their lines and the text with movement, so that it was not a musical. There was music and movement, but it wasn't necessarily dancing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So when you have someone, I can imagine like in a movie where you have, I think, was it Mel Gibson or Hugh Jackson that was in, I think A Star Is Born, not A Star Is Born, but The Greatest Showman.
Showman, yeah.
I can imagine someone like that having no like dance acumen or like, do something like that. And is it tough working with people who have never maybe been in the, I'm sure that's like a different element for you.
Yeah, I think also, finding a way to bring movement into something they're familiar with is something that I have to do in order to give them access to movement in their body in order to support the work that they're supposed to be doing or the character they're supposed to portray.
That's crazy. So out of all the stuff you've done, because you do a lot of choreography work and then you're on screen too, what's probably the favorite thing that you like to do?
Oh man, that's a good question. I enjoy anything where I can create. I enjoy amazing collaborations where everyone is working in their area of expertise to create something different, something new. And I also just really enjoy whether it's me teaching, choreographing, or performing, being places where I really feel like I belong in the room.
Solid. You do this better than me. You should do No, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very glad you were able to be flexible because the nap
I'm sure. That's
was
a
solid.
long day. You can't just get off a plane and walk into.
And she had to be at the airport at 3 this morning?
No, I had to be at what time did I get?
Because I know when I talked to you,
I was getting up
you
at
had to
3.
get up
my
at 3.
My Uber was coming at 3. Because I don't know if it was the time of day that I wanted to be here between the hour that it was going to take to get from Cleveland to here. I had gotten a later flight, and at the time I didn't know what the weather was going to do either.
This is great. So
I didn't know what the weather was going to do either. So I got the earliest flight possible.
So question, has there been anybody or anything in the process of the color purple, making the color purple, that has had the biggest impact on you or the thing that you learned most from?
I think, that's a good question. I think it's been a myriad of experiences. A friend of mine, when we were in college, was sharing that, your technique is not just the things that you do in the studio. Your technique is also your life experience. And so I have spent a good amount of time studying West African dance. I've had many teachers. My favorite and longest teacher that I've had has been Asan Conte, who's the founder of Conqueran Dance Company in Washington, D.C. And so the basis of the movement, the foundation of the technique is kind of built in there, regardless of what group, what tribe, what specific dance is being done. So I had I think a solid foundation to be able to grow into this role. And also my sis, dance sis, Akoto, she is actually Ghanaian. And so a lot of the movement was something that she grew up with. So she was translating it to us from basically her lived experience inside the technique.
Wow. I'll share my footage with you too.